The Israeli army is moving 1,500 to 2,000 troops to the border with Gaza. Many fear a ground offensive, if Israel chooses to launch one, could be the spark that engulfs the region in conflict. Now, inside Gaza, scenes like this playing out right now. A constant bombardment. The Israeli military says at least 300 rockets from Gaza have been fired into Israel since yesterday. Israel says at least 3 people have died. Israel firing back with its own missile launches and airstrikes. This is what happens on the ground in Gaza. Huge mushroom clouds of destruction, buildings left in ruins. Israel says it's targeted more than 300 terror sites, that's what they call them, in Gaza. When the bombs fall, neighborhoods go up in flames, bodies on the streets. Health ministry officials say at least 18 Palestinians have been killed. CNN's Sarah Sidner is in Gaza City, witnessing the violence, the rockets and gunfire raining down. Here's what she told Wolf Blitzer this afternoon. Watch.
Okay, that is exactly. All right, I'm going to move out of the way. I'm going to let you get a look here. I'm going to let you get a look at what is going on. Now, I can see the black smoke. It's difficult to capture on camera, but you saw that flash. This is what we have been dealing with all day. We've also been dealing with, I'm sorry, the power has just gone out. We've been dealing with power outages, Wolf. But this feels like war. It may not have been declared, but it feels like war to the civilians who live here.
Sarah Sidner joins us now live from Gaza. Sarah, what are you seeing? We just saw there were airstrikes earlier in the day behind you. What's going on now?
The same thing throughout the entire night. We've been hearing some teeth-rattling blasts over Gaza. We do know there have been at least a dozen blasts over the past few hours. Very, very, very loud, strong blasts here. It's very dark. I'm going to kind of move out of the way just to give you a look. It's dark here, and power is out in much of the city. Those who have generators, you will see a few lights just there behind me, but it has been a very, very difficult night for the civilians living here, certainly. Difficult also, to be very fair, for those civilians living in southern Israel. We were there this morning. We were there for quite a while, and we ourselves, in just about an hour and a half time, saw at least 13 rockets come over from Gaza into Israel. Now we know that that number is somewhere around 300 since this latest fight, this latest battle between Gaza and Israel began. It has been a very difficult night for people here. And you can really tell, because when you go into the streets, this is one of the densely populated cities of the world, perhaps the most densely populated city. And if you look in the streets that are usually bustling, filled with people, filled with cars, there are hardly any cars. There have been almost no people, and all the shops closed. So a very, very tense place here in Gaza and in southern Israel as well.
Sarah, what are you hearing now, and what do you know about casualties?
There have been 3 distinct blasts. We're seeing some of the smoke kind of billowing, actually literally just behind us a few hundred yards. We know that there are 19 people who have been killed here. All right, there's another one of the blasts. I'm going to move out of the way just again to see, because sometimes you can see a real huge, what looks like a flame almost, that lights up the night sky, and then it subsides. You usually hear these in succession. It's usually not just one. You'll get a series. This is maybe the 3rd or 4th in a series of hits that we've heard. And again, what happens is you can hear the jets, as Fred was saying there in Ashkelon, you can hear those same jets as they come over. I'm actually looking at where there is some it looks like some flames just near to, closer to the sea. But what I can tell you is that you normally hear the sound of the jets, and then you hear that sort of bone-rattling blast, and then you see the smoke. There's another one. So just as I was saying, you get these in succession, and these sound really like thunder, like a terrible, terrible thunderstorm that keeps happening again and again and again. So far, again, 19 people have been killed. We know that at least 9 of those have been militants, but we also know that children have died, a pregnant woman has died, and an elderly man has died. We are standing in a place where we're above the city. We're looking down upon this highly populated city, and it is absolutely deserted. A lot of concern here about where those blasts are coming from. People have been warned. There was actually the Israeli military dropping leaflets in some of the neighborhoods here, warning people not to be around some of the Hamas militants, not to be in areas where they know there are weapons caches, because those places would be targeted. And we've seen that again and again and again, but certainly civilians are also being caught in some of this crossfire.
And Sarah, are the bombings mostly at night or during the day? Or is it different?
It's interesting you ask, because oftentimes it's at night. Oftentimes when night falls, you really start getting these, especially overnight, in the overnight hours, as in right now, 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. But today it has been pretty constant. We heard it early in the morning. There was a bit of a lull in the afternoon, a bit of a lull during prayer time. And then in the evening, again, a barrage of airstrikes. The thing we're not seeing right now, though, and we haven't seen in a bit, are rockets coming from Gaza into Israel. But throughout the day, we saw them again and again and again from different parts of the city. These airstrikes, by the way, are all over the city. It's not just one particular place. Sometimes they're very far away and we can see the smoke, and sometimes they are very, very close to us. A few times we had to duck underneath a desk here for fear that we would be hit by some sort of shrapnel. So this is definitely offensive, that people feel like they're in a war.
Yeah.
Now, whether or not that's actually been declared by either side is a different thing, but certainly the civilians here feel like this is war.